Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. You already know what it is, you already know what it was, and you already know what it will be. So today I'm going to talk about the fact that I need a man. So this statement alone, I know some of y'all, all the girls that are like the independent bad bitches, and they're like, I don't need a man, men ain't shit, fuck men, like all men is just not it. I know that they're crying, screaming at this title. Now let me explain, because y'all, I will sit up here and I will admit, like, do I need a man? I technically don't need a man, y'all, but I would want a man. I'm not ever gonna sit up here and be like, like at one point I was like, fuck man, like men ain't shit, this and that. I don't need a man. I'm just gonna get money and live that single life, and that's that. That's how I was gonna be. And that was like when I was 16, or no, wait, 17. That was like when I was like 17, 18 years old, okay? Now, I think society these days is just like, we as a society have really pinned men and women against each other, and it's really like separated as a species, when really we are very similar. Like, we are the most similar things to each other on the earth, like at all. So the fact that we're like trying to be like, we don't need each other, and like men are trying to be like, I don't need a bitch, I don't need a woman, I don't need this, like, fuck girls. Like, I say we need a man as in like, how do I say this? As a woman, we need a man, but as a man, they need a woman. Like, we need each other. We need each other. And like, people don't want to admit that we need each other. We actually need each other. Like, that's how things were set up, were made, that we need a companion, we need a partner, because this life is so lonely. Honestly, y'all, this life is so lonely enough, like with all the fake people out there, like without strong connections. If you don't have a strong connection, but you're just still seeing the same people over and over again, but there's no connection, that's lonely. That's not somebody you can talk to. You could go talk to them and they're going to tell the next person your business, because there's no connection. They're not loyal to you. There's no loyalty. They don't fuck with you like that. You're just acquaintances. And having just acquaintances in this life is lonely as fuck. Like, especially if you've already had somebody so close to you that you've told everything to, that you're best friends with, that you're loyal with, that you have loyalty to someone, and they show you loyalty back. When someone that you know is loyal to you, like, there's just nothing that beats that feeling of somebody being loyal to you and only fucking with you and like loving you and like being there for you. When somebody shows you that they aren't loyal to you, that's hurtful, because that was one person, that's somebody that you were loyal to them, and the fact that they couldn't give you that back is crazy. And it's like, why did I even give loyalty to this person that wouldn't even give it to me, type of thing, you know what I mean? So do I think we need men? Do I think I need a man? I don't necessarily think I need one, and that I won't be able to survive without one. Like, I know I would do fine without one. I know I'd probably even do better without one. Like, I would get more money. It depends what your better is. So for me, like, having more money and having more freedom and doing this isn't better for me. For me, better is like having a companion that I can grow something with and actually build something with someone. Because you can build your little whatever you got going on by yourself, but like, for me, I want to travel. Like, traveling is fun and stuff by yourself, only for a little bit. Like, I literally went to a trip like this year with just myself, and it was to LA, and it was fun. Like, I did meet up with people, but like, honestly, y'all, just like, I went to the clubs and I partied at the clubs, and it was just the same shit. And just because you're in a different city, and like, you're like, because here, like, the clubs aren't shit, but there the clubs are really good in the big cities like Miami, LA, all that. The club was fun, but it wasn't. I think I honestly, me personally, would have a better time just like in the beach, like in an infinity pool, maybe even infinity pool, Greece, Cancun, with just like one other person, like someone that I'm really close to. So that's what I like. Maybe it's because I'm an introvert, and like, I'm not very the most social person all the time. Like, for me, being social all the time drains me, and that's why I think being an introvert is like being around people. You only have a certain amount of time before your social battery runs out, and people are draining. So then you gotta like be by yourself a little bit to like re-energize yourself and like be able to like go out and like, you know, be with people again. I'm very much introverted. Like, I need that reset. I think for extroverted people, they get energy off of other people. Like, being around other people gives them more energy. And that is so my mom. My mom is so like that. So that's why we don't understand each other a lot. But because she's always wanting to go out to social situations. And I'm like, no, like, I really just, like, I don't want to do that today. Like, I just can't, I gotta be alone, like, type of thing. Maybe it's because I'm an only child too, and my mom has like siblings, like many siblings. She's like the youngest out of like four or five-ish, so that I played alone a lot of the time. Most of my life I was alone a lot of my life. And so whenever I get like a person, maybe that's why I have abandonment issues, I have no idea. Like, I don't know. Like, the first abandonment issue I would say I had, I guess people would say my dad, but honestly, y'all, there's no abandonment issue there because, like, I never knew him. Like, I never knew him. He was never in my life. So I feel like it'd be different if I had my father in my life and then he left and I'm like, oh my God, why'd he leave? Like, he didn't like me. I mean, the man never met me. He's never met me. So not that I even would want to meet him because he's a literal weirdo, and I will probably do a video on why he's a literal weirdo another time. But he's a weird, when I tell you he's weird, he's a weirdo, and I'm so glad he's not in my life because he's a literal weirdo. So every year for Christmas he would promise me that he would come down because he lives in London, England. Every year he'd promise and like just never show up. Like, he wasn't like, no, I'm not coming. He's like, I'll be there every year. So it was like, what the fuck, why even tell me this? Like, I didn't even give a fuck like whether he came. So I just got used to him like broken promises. Like, whenever he said he would come, like, I was like, no, like, he's not coming. Like, I never even said I want to see you or I want you here for Christmas. I didn't even give a fuck. So why even tell me you're coming and then not show up, which is crazy, right? And keep in mind, this man has like so many other kids, like definitely five other kids, and like we all just kind of recently started talking to each other. Like, I have an older brother. He's so chill. He makes rap music, and it's funny because like they all have the UK accent, like that British accent, and I'm the only one that has like an American accent, American Canadian accent to them. Like, to them I have an accent, which is funny, but to me they have an accent. So that was probably like the first abandonment issue thing. Like, if I like to call it that, I don't think so. I think the first real abandonment issues that really got me was like my first time. Like, I had a boyfriend. Okay, so I moved to California, y'all, when I was 16. Or no, when I was 15, and then I got a boyfriend, and like I was a virgin. So like, this man was like my first time, right? First time. And I was like, finally, I was like, okay, like, yeah, I want to be with this person. Like, you really think that you're gonna be with this person for like a long time or like forever, like in your little 16-year-old mind, right? Around that time. So like, I wanted to be special. Like, you want the first time to be special, right? I kid you not, y'all, this man took my virginity and like literally next week cut me off. Like, completely cut me off. Is like completely which is like so psychopathic, because when I went to go talk to him like in school to talk, he just pretended like he didn't know me. So there was no conversation, no closure, like literally just took it and then like cut me off type of thing, which is crazy. I mean, maybe he had his reasons, like it's kind of a long story, but like basically I didn't like him like that for the first month. I really didn't think that I was gonna be with him. And then, bitch, I technically sent nudes to somebody for money. So like, I was doing OnlyFans before it was even OnlyFans, bitch, in fucking high school, y'all. Like, before it was even a thing, I was already doing that shit. Because I was like, girls are sending their nudes around for free, so why wouldn't I do the same shit but get a bag from it? Like, I've always had that money mindset. I've never just been like for free out here, y'all. Like, they're going in the group chat either way, so may as well get some money from it, right? But I was young, so I did that. And yes, that was cheating. Like, technically that was for real cheating, but I like didn't even, like, this is like a trial relationship for me, so I didn't even like this. I did not like this guy until up to that point, and then he found out, because, like, I forget, this is so long ago, but he found out. And we just talked about it. I thought he was gonna break up with me, like, it was gonna be it. I was not gonna sweat it at all. Like, I don't know, but I didn't care, because I needed money for something. Like, I need money, and you're 16 or whatever, you can't work. I couldn't get a job because I was Canadian or whatever, I was in America, so I needed some money. Now, that was wrong 100%. That was cheating. I cheated. So I was expecting him to break up with me, but the fact that he sat me down and he was like, I really want to work with you, I really like you, like, you just, like, don't do that, like, you know. And I was like, wow, like, he really likes me, like, he really fucks with me. So from that point on, I was like, wow, this is the man that I want to give my virginity to. Like, this is the man, like, I'm going to fuck. Like, I like him a lot. Okay, I was like, that was the point in my head where I was like, I really like him. But that was the point, y'all, where he was like, I'm just gonna fuck her and leave. That's what's crazy. And I didn't see that. I was like, wow, he really wants to make it work with me. Like, we're really gonna stick this out with each other. So that was obviously why he just took it and left. And honestly, good for him. Like, you know, he had a lot of issues going on in his life too. Like, he had a lot of shit going on. But yeah, so anyway, so that's when I fell in love. In love is what I thought it was with him. And so then, you know, I gave it to him, and literally a week later he just cut me off because he knew he was going to do that, like, since that first month that I did that shit. So well played on him, but like, you could have, I don't know, like, evil, like, that's kind of evil, bro. Like, that is evil. Like, yeah, I did do that, but I thought we actually moved past that, and we were, you know. So anyway, then when I felt like I really liked him after that, that's when I learned, like, okay, when you really like somebody, you can't do anything to mess anything up, because I was obsessed with this guy, y'all. I was obsessed with him. Like, I would literally, like, try and figure out his school schedule. We had a few classes together, so I would, like, that was my favorite class, and I'd always, like, I would even, like, skip first period just to make sure I was ready for that class, because it was second period. If I had him in first period, y'all, I would never be late, so that would have been great. But yeah, I would try and run into him in the halls. Like, just, he would go to McDonald's every day after school to get picked up, so I would go, like, to McDonald's every day after school, even though I lived right by the school. I could literally walk home, but I was just with, like, friends chilling at McDonald's every day because I knew his ass had to be there. Like, it was crazy. But he wouldn't talk to me, and I think that's what really fucked me up the most. Like, I feel like if we would have talked and he had a conversation with me, he was like, yeah, like, when you send the nudes to that guy, like, that was it. I was done. Like, that was some horse shit. I can't be with you. And, like, what really hurt me is that we just fucked one time. It was only once. How are you gonna take my virginity and it just be one time? Like, I never wanted to be just one time. Like, that's crazy. Like, you never get to even know each other's bodies or anything like that. So that was hurtful as fuck. So yeah, I think that was, like, the first abandonment issue that I had. And then also with my friend that I had around that same time, I had a best friend. We always hung out, and then we stopped talking. And it was over something so stupid, and I still talk to her to this day, because, like, now we're like, that it was so stupid. Like, you know, we used to be so close, and now I still talk to her. She just lives in a different country. Like, she lives in like LA. So, you know, I still have friends like that are, like, she lives in California. So, you know, we are not as close as, like, we used to be, but, like, we're still good, because it was just so stupid for us to stop talking over that. But, like, the fact that we stopped talking over something so stupid, like, it was really, I couldn't even tell you why we stopped talking. It's because, like, she got drunk at a party one time. She had a video, I was so long ago, like, we had videos of each other, and she posted one of me, and then on her, like, private Instagram, which I thought was fine. Then I posted one of her, and I think she thought I was mad, and she was like, what the fuck, like, you know, like, she was mad about it. And I was like, I wasn't even mad that you posted me. I just posted you because you posted me as, like, a joke. And then I think none of us wanted to really like address it and talk to each other about it. So we just like cut it off because neither one of us wanted to be like the bigger person and be like, I'm sorry. Like, you know what I mean? It was just so stupid. And it was like a really close friendship. So that was like the second thing. So just with all that, like, and it was just like a really hard time that I was going through with the breakup. And I had nobody. I had literally nobody because I was living in an apartment on my own by myself for like a few months because my mom couldn't be there because of her work visa. So I was going through my first breakup with my first time that he was ignoring me. I felt like I had no real friends either. I was very alone, and I was in a different country, and I was very alone, but like I was still having fun. Like the thing is, like, I was probably depressed, but if you would have asked me during that time if I was depressed, I would have said no, because like you don't really know that you're depressed until you get out of it, and then you look back and you're like, damn, like that was depressing. Like I was coming home every day after school crying and like just figuring out ways to get him to talk to me which is pathetic. And I would never ever do that again. Like the way I was obsessed with this man, I don't think I would ever, hopefully ever be again, because it was crazy. I made fake accounts to message this man about me, which is crazy. So I think that's really where the abandonment issues happen. And then I got to a point like I just felt like everybody was gonna leave me at one point in my life. Like nobody's permanent, everybody leaves. So I wanted to cut off my own mother and grandma because I was like, everybody leaves. Like everybody leaves. Like even with death. I think the first very time that I was like not okay was when my grandpa died. And when my grandpa died, I was like very shocked because it was like my first death, and he was kind of like my dad figure. Like he was the closest male figure to me, and he died. And then I was just not handling the death well at all, but everybody around me, like my mom was so chill about it, like, oh yeah, he's in a better place now. Like, never seen her cry over it. My grandma never cried. Like I guess they always said they were trying to be like strong for me and like show me that like death was okay, but I was like shocked, like, y'all, he's not here anymore and y'all aren't even shedding a tear. And my mom's a nurse, so like she, like, maybe death hits her different. Like she's been around it a lot, right? Like people die all the time in the hospital, like, so it was just weird. Like I was very, like, it was just crazy. Like, I'll never forget being in the room alone with him and he was just dead, and I was like, they gave me my moments alone with him and he was just dead. Like, it was crazy. It's like he's not here anymore, and damn, like everybody leaves. Like everybody's gonna leave eventually too. Like when people die, like they're not with you anymore. Like everybody leaves, and it's depressing. Like it's depressing. So like I just wanted to cut off my mom and grandma because like I was like, I don't want to experience them die. I'm not good with death. So I don't know. I just don't handle people leaving well. Like now, if anybody like in my life if I have a little inkling that like they don't want to fuck with me anymore, like, and I have just a feeling, I want to just back all the way out of their life first. Like I don't want you to leave me. Like I'm going to leave you like before you leave me. Like it's probably bad. Like I'd rather just not, and I'm scared to get close to anyone. Like everybody that you get close to doesn't even fuck with you like that. Like and then so like I was very cold. I was a very cold person. I wanted to be alone until I met like my ex, and I think the only reason that he opened up my heart again to not be so cold is because he knew me before I went to California. So he knew that person before I experienced all like that heartbreak and all that friendship and all that like shit being alone. So he really brought me back to who I was before all that traumatizing stuff happened. Like he made me remember like who I used to be, and being with him, it slowly turned me back to who I was, but also a mixture of the LA girl, because like I'm just like a mixture now of like who I was and like being down there. So the fact that he cheated, I had a choice, like, is this gonna turn me cold back to how I was and not being able to trust anybody, like, you know, like, and just go back, like, all 4 years of my time wasted just to go back to square one? No, I'm not going to let that happen. It showed me, like, I can trust again. Honestly, it needed to happen. Like, and I know not everybody probably believes in God, but like, I I for sure believe in God, like, because, you know, at the moments where you're struggling and you're kind of like, God, why are you putting me through this and that? When you just trust him, y'all, when you just trust and you're like, hey, like, I don't know why this is happening to me right now, but I'm just gonna trust you. You have the plan, you can see the future, like I can't. And you just let him handle it, and you just, even if you're in a bad situation, you just put your faith and trust in him, things will work out. You know, you just have to remember, like, I'm sad right now, but I'm not gonna be sad later. Like, it's gonna get better. And that's what I did. So I was hurt. Somebody just buzzed. What the fuck? Yeah. Somebody just buzzed. What the fuck? Anyway, sorry. So, yeah, I had a choice to be like, am I gonna be cold again? Like, or like, if I were to go cold and not trust again, y'all, all that 4 years would really have been for nothing. And, you know, God did not put that man in my life for a second time for no reason. No. In my personal belief, like, God took that person, he planted him in my life before I moved to California, because he knew the shit that I had to learn in California wasn't going to be easy. It was going to be tough. It was going to turn me some type of way. But then he, for some reason, made me come back, made me reconnect with this person to, you know, to make me into the person that I am today, and make me into the person that God wants me to be. So if I have to go through all that, like, you have to go through experiences to be the person that you need to be for yourself and, like, for God, right? So the fact that all that had to happen, fine. So if I were to, like, I had a choice, like, you know, you just have to trust God and be like, okay, like, I don't know why I went through all that. I mean, it takes time. 4 years. It took me 4 years to really become this person. And he cheated, unfortunately. And I was like, why? Like, God, like, I thought you put him in my life again, like, to make me this good person. I was doing good with him. We were building something. So, like, why would you even put this other female into our situation to ruin what we have? And, like, he ruined it because he chose to, you know, let this female ruin what we had. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, it took me a long time to accept the fact that I wasn't supposed to be with him. And I was like, because I really wanted to be him, because I was like, there's just no reason, like, that God put him in my life back again for it to be for nothing. Like, how can this be for nothing? And I realized, y'all, it's not for nothing. He didn't put him back in my life for nothing. He put me back in my life to make me a good person and a good woman for the next guy, because he knew, like, with this guy, what I want to become and what I want to be is not compatible with this guy, with this man. And when you're not compatible in life with somebody, God is going to use them to serve their purpose in your life. And God used me to serve a purpose in his life. And it was more so for a lesson. Like, it wasn't for no reason, it was for a purpose. And I have to trust him and know that, like, he's like, look, you can't go on to the next chapter without closing this one. You have to close this chapter to go on to the next one, and you're about to level up. You can't level up if you want a new life and a new situation and a new, like, you want to do better. You can't hold on to those things in your past self, like, in your past self, when you want a new self. So I had to just accept the fact that, you know, he's not my final outcome, and that's fine. So that was just something I have to accept, and that's just something you have to trust, because whatever God takes, he replaces with something even better, and you just have to believe that. And if you don't believe that, and you keep denying God, and you keep holding on to your past shit and your past self, you're never going to be able to elevate on the path that God wanted you to be on, and shit just falls apart. And it took me a while to give that up and realize it, y'all, because I was holding on to it so long because I wanted to work. But like, once they cheat and once they break that connection, there is no, like, there was, like, God broke it so bad that it wasn't fixable. It wasn't fixable, and timing's everything. So like, he has it timed. Like, I wasn't supposed to find out exactly when he did it. I found out a year later. Like, who knows how many times he did it, I don't know. But whenever I was supposed to find out was the time I was supposed to find out, to be in the life that I am now, which is just crazy, because it's so scary putting that much trust into God. Even though you can't see him, you just have to believe he's there, and you have to believe someone's watching over you. It's scary. But when you really have faith, you feel it. Like, you feel it. Like, you feel like, wow, things are like not so good for me right now, but like, I believe so hard that it's gonna get better, and it just does. And when it does get better, you're like, wow. And then you look back, and then you're like, well, everything was supposed to happen for a reason, right? So just because this shit didn't work out for me doesn't mean that I'm going to be like, now, fuck men, I don't need a man, I'm an independent bad bitch, men don't mean shit. No, that's not how God wanted you to see. God never intended you to get hurt by somebody and then give up on love, because y'all, if you didn't know, God is love. And I will put a quote right here. I mean, I sound so cheesy right now. Like, I literally sound so crazy and so cheesy, I know. But like, y'all, when you go through a situation like this, then you really feel him. Like, you need him. Like, you need God, because your life is gonna be miserable. If you're miserable right now, ask yourself, do you have God? Because like, you just are happier when you have somebody like that got you like that, if I'm gonna be so honest. So yeah, so basically what this quote is saying is that like, God is love, and when you stop believing in love, you stop believing in God, because God is love. So when Satan or whatever crushes your soul so much that you just don't even believe in love anymore, you don't love yourself, you don't love nobody, you just like care, like, that is selfish. Like, you can't do that. You have to believe in love. You have to believe. If you don't believe, you're going to be like, it's a lonely, miserable life being by yourself, and you don't even realize until, like, I didn't even realize when I was living alone by myself, and I was like, I just want to get money, I'm following money, I'm not following love, I'm just following about what I want. It's a lonely path, and you'll never be happy, because money is just temporary. Money is not love. Money is not a feeling. Money can get you physical things and this and that, but it's not a connection. You cannot even buy a connection, y'all. Love is just something you cannot actually buy. That's why there's prostitutes and escorts. You can buy a bitch, you can buy a pussy, you can buy somebody for an hour. You could not buy their love. It's either they love you or don't. You cannot buy it. So yeah, y'all, in my opinion, to wrap this video up, I need a man, but I also feel like men need us. We need each other. We need each other to love. And it should not be separated. It should not be separate. It should not be like, you know, against each other. We have to work together, and we need each other. As soon as we accept that we need each other, like, I can't give myself everything that a man can give me, and a man can't give himself things that I can give him. We can't give ourselves enough love. Like, we need love from another person. So that's what I mean by that. This is a long ass story, but yeah, y'all, I just like talking. This is my little video diaries. You already know I'd be sharing way too much on this app, but you know how it is. So yeah, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. And y'all, if you want, you can DM me things to talk about. I love it when y'all comment like your little situations, you need advice, or just like to talk in general. Like, I appreciate that. So y'all, feel free to leave any comments, or I know some of y'all don't want to leave a public comment, but y'all will message me in my DMs. If you tell me to do it anonymously, I will respect that. I will cut your name out. If you're fine with me leaving your name in, I will. Either or, just so it doesn't matter with that. So don't feel like I'm gonna expose you if you come, unless you come at me some type of way, then bitch, yeah, you're gonna be exposed. But no, if you're just doing advice or like somebody to talk to, I got you. So you already know, and I'll see you in the next video.